Hey guys, it's Miss Kelley. I am going to read Act 2, Scene 1 today for you of Midsummer Night's Dream. So I'm sharing my screen. So first I wanted to go over the notes. So we have Act 2, Scene 1. Now we have Magical Woods, so we're going to have new characters introduced to us. So we have Oberon, who's the king of fairies, and he's in love with his bride, Titania, the queen of fairies. They both love each other very much, but currently right now, in this chapter, they're fighting because they, and because they're magical and fairies, it messes up the weather. And so it got really cold and snowing, and the weather's changing because of their fighting, because of all their magical spirits, and their anger is disturbing everything. So in this Act 2, Scene 1, Oberon and Titania love each other, but they're quarreling, which means fighting. The fairies, which is Oberon and Titania, and then all of their, they have servants that work for them, and all the fairies that live there, they have magical powers, but only at night when they're invisible and can't be seen. They can be seen during the day. Once again, here comes that night thing into play. Titania did have one human friend who was the Queen of India, but she died and asked Titania to raise her son for her. However, the king of India is still alive, and so he thinks his son has been stolen. The Queen of India thought that he was rude and hurtful to her son. That's why she wanted Titania to raise her son instead before she died. But Oberon, who is Titania's fairy husband, says he wants a boy to be in his army because he's strong. And Titania doesn't want that to happen. She promised her friend, the queen, that she would take care of her son and raise him as if he was her own. So she's quite upset. So then Puck, who is Oberon's servant, or jester, as they call it, is given the task to find the flower, love, and idleness that Cupid accidentally struck with a love spell. So we've got a love spell coming and Cupid and all sorts of fun stuff. So let's start reading. Okay, so in Act 2, Scene 1, the scene is in the wood outside of Athens the next night. A fairy enters at one door and Puck at the other. So this fairy is Titania's head servant, and this Puck is Oberon's head servant. How now, spirit? Whither wander you? So Puck is saying, hello, fairy. And she says, I do wander everywhere. She's just saying she's okay. In this picture that's next is Peter Quinn's given the men the parts from Act 1, Scene 2. To serve Titania, the fairy queen, farewell, you clumsy oaf of spirits, I must be gone. Our queen and all of her elves come here soon. The king doth keep his revels here tonight. Take care he doth not see the queen. Oberon is filled with anger because she has taken her as her attendant, a lovely boy stolen from an Indian king. She never had so sweet a child, and jealous Oberon would have the boy to be a king of his train. But hark, fairy, here comes Oberon now. So basically, Puck is just going over why the two are fighting with the other servant, and then saying, but hurry, get out of here, because here comes my fairy Oberon. And then fairy says, and here comes my mistress, would that he were gone. So Oberon, king of fairies, enters at one door with his train of fairies, and the other doors enters Titania's queen with her attendants. I'll meet by moonlight, proud Titania. Why art thou here? Why hast thou come from the far steep of India? Already the fairy world is turned upside down by our quarreling, which means fighting. The spring, the summer, the fruitful autumn, and the angry winter change their unusual dress. The bewildered world looks on and knows not which is which. So because of their fighting, they're literally changing the seasons. So winter or summer to winter and changing. And people are like, what is going on? Why that aren't living in the magical world? Because see, they're not supposed to know about the fairies. So they're like confused and wondering why in the world their weather is caused by this, or what's happening with the weather. Oberon says, I'll amend it then. It is with thy power. Why should Titania quarrel with her Oberon? All I ask is the little boy to be my page. And Titania says, not if you give me all the fairyland could you buy the child for me. His mother was my friend, and for her sake do I rear him up. For her sake, I will not part with him, and rear him up means raise. So she's saying, I am not going to give you the Indian boy. I want to raise him as my own son. I promised his mother. How long within the wood intend you stay? So see, she's hiding in the wood. She's not staying at their castle because she's mad at him. And she's saying, perhaps till after Theseus's wedding day. So they know about the citizens of Athens, but the Athens citizens aren't supposed to know about them. If you will patiently dance with us and see our moonlight revels, go with us. If not, shun me and I will avoid your haunts. Okay, so Titania is saying, I'm staying here in the woods until Theseus gets married. Oberon says, give me that boy and I will go with thee. Titania, not for the fairy kingdom. Fairies away, we shall quarrel if I longer stay. So Titania exits with the train. And Oberon, well, go thy way. And then he speaks to himself, thou shalt not leave the wood till I have tormented thee for this injury. My gentle Puck, come hither. Dost thou remember that once I sat upon a hill and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back, singing so sweetly that rude sea did grow quiet at her song. And certain stars shot madly from their spears to hear the sea maid's music. I remember. So he's saying, Oberon's saying, do you remember that day that we saw a mermaid out in the ocean on the dolphin's back? And he's trying to, for Puck to remember a day, of course. Well, that very day I saw Cupid take aim and shoot a golden arrow. I marked the place where Cupid's bolt fell. It fell upon a little flower. Maidens call that flower love and idleness because idle means it's waiting. So it's waiting for someone to use it so that they can use Cupid's magical spell to fall in love. So my gentle Puck, fetch me that flower. The juice of it on sleeping eyelids will make the man or woman madly love the next creature that it sees. So Oberon wants Puck to go get the flower so he can use this magical flower on somebody. Puck says, I'll wing my way around the earth in the twinkling of an eye. Puck exits to do his master's bidding, and Oberon makes his plans to punish Titania for refusing to give up the boy. So he is going to use this spell somehow on his wife to love someone else. Having once this flower, I'll watch Titania when she is asleep and drop the juice of it in her eyes. So here they are fighting. Here's the Indian boy. This is Titania. This is Oberon. And this is Puck in the yellow and green. And this is Titania's fairy. The next thing she looks upon when waking, be it a lion, a bear, a wolf, or a bull, or a meddling monkey, or a busy ape, she shall chase it with the soul of love. And before I take this charm from off her sight, as I can take it with another herb, I'll make her give up her page to me. So he doesn't want her to fall in love with another fairy. And he also doesn't want this love spell to last for very long. What he wants is for it to last long enough for her to fall in love with an animal. And then once she's in love with the animals, he'll ask for the Indian boy, and then he thinks she'll give it to him. So here he hears the sound of someone coming. But who comes here? I am invisible, and I will overhear their conference. So now Oberon's invisible because it's night, and here comes Demetrius and Helena following him. I love thee not, therefore pursue me not. Where is Lysander and fair Hermia? The one I'll slay, the other slayeth me. Thou toldest me they were stolen unto this wood. Away, get thee gone, and follow me no more. So here's Demetrius talking to Helena. She obviously told Demetrius about Helena and Hermia's plan to run away and meet in the woods. And it backfired in her like we thought, because he's saying, you told me they were here. Where are they? And then he's telling her to get out of here. I don't love you anymore. So her plan didn't work. And Helena says, you draw me, you hard-hearted magnet, but yet you draw not iron from my heart. It's true as steel. Lose power to draw, and I shall have no power to follow you. So Helena's just telling him, oh, I love you. Please don't leave me. And Demetrius says, do not attempt my hatred. I am sick when I look at you. So he's saying, you make me sick. Helena, I am sick when I look not at you. And she's saying, oh, when I'm not looking at you, I'm sick. Demetrius then says, you are sick indeed, to leave the city and commit yourself into the hands of one that loves you not, to trust the opportunity of night in this deserted place with your innocence. He's saying, you're being silly that you followed me out here, even though I cannot stand you. And Helena says, it's not night when I do see your face, therefore I think I am not in the night, nor doth this wood lack worlds of company. For you and my eyes are all the world. Then how can it be said I am alone when all the world is here to look on me? And she's saying, oh, but I do love you. I love you. Please love me back. And Demetrius says, let me go. And so here's a picture of Helena and Demetrius fighting. And here's Oberon behind them, invisible, listening to the conversation. Or if thou follow me, do not believe, but I shall do mischief in this wood. So Demetrius is saying, do not follow me again, Helena. And then he leaves. So now Helena is thinking to herself, I'll follow thee and make a heaven of hell. I'll die by the hand I love so well. And it's saying like heaven's a good thing and hell's a bad thing. It's not using it in a bad word. Helena exits. Oberon, invisible to two mortals, has seen and heard everything. Demetrius and Helena have said, he feels sorry for Helena. Oberon, fare thee well, girl. Before he do leave this wood, thou shalt fly from him, and he shall seek thy love. And then Puck comes in. So Oberon feels sorry for Helena because Demetrius was so ugly to her, and he can clearly see that Helena is in love with Demetrius. And so he's saying, before I leave these woods, I'm going to fix this love, I bet, with that juice. So Oberon says, has that flower there? Aye, there it is. I pray thee, give it to me. I know a bank where the wild thyme grows. There sometime Titania sleeps of night. He takes the magic flower from Puck. And with the juice of this, I'll streak her eyes and make her full of hateful dreams. Take thou some of the flower. Seek through this grove. A sweet Athenian lady is in love with a disdainful youth. Talking about Helena's a sweet lady, and the disdainful youth is Demetrius. Rub the juice in his eyes, but do it when the next thing he sees may be the lady. Thou shalt know the man by the Athenian clothes he hath on, and see that thou meet me before the first cock crow. Because remember, once it's daytime, they're not invisible anymore. And then Puck says, fear not, my lord, your servant shall do so. Well, here's the problem. Who else is meeting in the woods? So Oberon has only seen the Athenian youth, these two, Helena and Demetrius. He doesn't know that there's a bunch of Athenians in the woods, and he has not described the Athenian male to Puck. He has just said, you will know him by his Athenian clothes. There's a bunch of them going to be there. And they all exit. And we'll begin scene 2 next week. I'm going to stop sharing. I hope you all have a good afternoon. Bye.